recently relocated to Florida, or maybe you've already been living in Florida for quite some time, and there are some things that you may not be so happy about, things that you've come across that you didn't really consider before you moved to Florida. You may have asked yourself that one question that some other people may have asked themselves as well. Did I make a mistake by moving to Florida? Let's talk about that. Hang tight. Hey everyone, I'm Stephanie Bueno with the Whittemore Group at eXp Realty here in the Destin-Fort Walton Beach area. Thank you so much for stopping by our channel. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap on that bell just so you're notified every time we upload a new video so you don't miss out on all the awesome information that we give you about this area. We do have a lot of people that reach out to us for general information, or maybe they're getting ready to relocate here or need some help finding a place to move to, or maybe even invest in some great properties out in this area. So if you fall into any of those categories, whether you're looking to buy or invest in property here, feel free to reach out to us here at the Whittemore Group. We love to help as many people as we possibly can. So just make sure you send us a text, an email, comment on this video, give us a phone call, whatever you need to do to get a hold of us. We would definitely love to help you out with whatever that you need. All right, so you've asked yourself, did I make a mistake by moving to Florida? Well, some of the things that people do talk about after living in Florida some time is the fact that it's very crowded in Florida. Of course, there's people that may live out of the state and they think they just want to relocate to Florida and just enjoy the nice, beautiful beaches, sit under the sun, relax, go out to some of the great restaurants we have here. We have great seafood restaurants all around the state of Florida. But what you don't think about is that the number of people that actually are thinking the same thing that you're thinking. So there's a lot of people that are relocating to Florida to enjoy the same type of lifestyle that you may be looking to live. So especially over the last couple of years, we've had so many people relocate to Florida to enjoy the beautiful beaches that we have here, the nice sunshine, the warmer weather. So that's also bringing a lot of people to the beaches. So it's more crowded on the beaches. I've noticed the last couple summers here in the Destin beaches and Miramar Beach for Walton Beach, it's getting a little crowded, and the roads get a little crowded too. I know we always have a lot of road construction going on to make those improvements to accommodate all the tourists and the locals in the area. So it's always a progress in the works. So you'll definitely come across a lot of traffic. Not just in our Destin-Fort Walton Beach area, but all around the state. You'll see, like maybe on the interstate, there's some road work going on just to make the improvements. Again, we do have a lot of people on the roads that love to visit Florida, and people relocating. So you may not think about how crowded the state is actually becoming. But if that doesn't bother you at all, then you wouldn't consider that a mistake. It's just maybe you think the more the better, the more people to meet, more friendly people to come across while you're out and about. Maybe have some friendly neighbors, make some new friends. So just maybe think about that if you haven't already moved here. Think about the large crowd of people that are trying to come here and enjoy the same type of lifestyle that you're trying to enjoy. Another thing that people are a little concerned about when it comes to moving to Florida, they wanted to move somewhere where walkability is great. However, there is not a lot of places to where you think you can find within a decent budget to where maybe the beach and restaurants are walkable, things to do for the family. However, there are a lot of places where it's just a short drive away, or maybe a golf cart, bicycles. There's lots of places, especially in the tourist area, where you can even rent bicycles or scooters to get around. However, we do have a lot of people that when they're reaching out to us looking for a place to either live or maybe even to rent out for a while, but use on occasional personal use, they say that walkability is very important to them. They want to make sure that they don't have to get in the car and get into the traffic every time they want to head out somewhere. There are a lot of areas in Destin, Miramar Beach, where you can stay really close to the beach, more so south of Highway 98. So it's just between the highway and the beach, where you may be able to walk to the beach or to the restaurants, little shops, boutiques. There's ice cream stores, little stores to get your souvenirs. So they do have that there. However, if you are looking to purchase a home and move to a place that's walkable to the beach, you're going to have to see if that's within your budget, because the closer you are to the coastline, of course, the prices are going to be a little bit higher than what you may be comfortable with. So again, walkability is very important to a lot of people, but because of the crowds and so many people are buying these properties up, you may not be able to find just the right property for you, your family, your budget, to where you can be within walking distance to all the amenities that you would like to enjoy. So you may have to find a place a little bit further, but again, in this area or really anywhere around Florida, you'll be able to find a place that's still within a good driving distance or decent driving distance from all the places that you like to enjoy, such as restaurants, places to have fun with your friends or family, bars, or even the beach, whatever it is that you're out looking to do. There's definitely a lot of places to choose from. Whether you're looking to drive or catch an Uber or use public transportation. But again, if you're looking for something where you can just get on foot, then you're going to have to increase your budget a little bit more. Another mistake that some people think about after making the move to Florida is how the cost of living has increased over the last couple of years. Of course, the cost of living has increased in many areas, not just Florida. So of course, you have to take into account the consideration, the cost of housing, food, healthcare, transportation, your utilities. Of course, here in Florida, of course, we have a lot of months where there's lots of warm weather, so you're going to crank up the AC. So you think about what your light bill is going to be, or unless you have solar panels to help ease the cost of that. And also here in the state of Florida, minimum wage is at $10 an hour. So yes, that has gone up. However, so has the cost of living. Gas prices were just skyrocketing a couple months ago here in 2022. But it seems as of right now, it's calmed down just a little bit. So I know that was a struggle for a lot of people trying to get around, keeping up with their gas tanks because the gas prices were so high, but people's wages weren't going up. So it's kind of hard to balance that out. Also, another thing to think about as far as a price increase is homeowners insurance. There's a lot of insurance companies that have left Florida due to so many claims to where they just backed out of Florida, and has also increased premiums for a lot of the current companies that do provide insurance for homes out in Florida. So that's another thing that people may not have considered when it comes to their budget, their expenses, their mortgage, utilities. They have to take in consideration how it's always possible for the cost of living to increase over time, whether your salary or your hourly wage increases or not. So it's just better safe to budget to where you feel like you can accommodate any changes in expenses, in your daily living expenses. That way you're not struggling with keeping up with bills and you're still able to live a comfortable lifestyle when you live here in Florida. Another thing to keep in mind about Florida is that it does get way too hot for a lot of people to where they do end up regretting coming to the Sunshine State. There's a lot of people that want to come enjoy the warmer weather because they're just tired of all the snow and the snowstorms that they have to experience in the northern states where they may have originally were maybe born and raised or lived in for a long time, pretty much tired of it and want to get away from all that and come down to Florida. They don't think about the actual extreme heat that we may experience here in Florida. So even in the springtime, really, or the late winter months, maybe like January, February, March, we're pretty much on preheat during that time. It's still very, very warm. And you would think it's already into the summer months during the first quarter of the year. But especially this year, it seemed like it was just extremely warm during the springtime. Again, we just call that our preheat setting for Florida. In the winter months, especially like November and December, the special holiday months that people like to enjoy. Yes, it does cool down a bit. But not to where it's really, really, really cold to where you can just really get that whole Christmassy atmosphere. It's maybe, I would say we average is probably 50, 60 degrees in the winter months. There's still people, usually tourists, that'll still be out in the water because they're from up north. They're used to the cold. They feel like the cold water is feeling really good, but not me. Personally, I think it has to be at least 80, 90 degrees outside for me to be able to get into the beach water. But that's just me. I like it to be extremely hot for me to step foot in the cold water. But there's some people that may feel like the heat is too much for them to bear, unfortunately. The humidity adds a lot of stress to that heat. We have for example, the weather can be about 90, 93 degrees, but the heat index will be over 100 degrees. So you're just out there sweating regardless. There's a lot of people that aren't comfortable with that amount of heat. They don't think about that before moving here. They just think it's going to be beautiful sunshine all day, every day. Most days it's like that. It does also, we do have a lot of scattered showers throughout the year, but usually doesn't rain all day long unless we're in that rainy season or hurricane season. So yes, just keep in mind that we do have extreme heat here, hotter than what you probably expect. We don't experience the 4 seasons like some other states may experience, like Tennessee or North Carolina, South Carolina. We don't have like, where it feels like spring. Sometimes we do, depending. You might catch that for a couple days where it's real comfortable weather, 60, 70 degrees. But we don't have the extreme cold months either, to where you get to pull out your fancy sweaters and gloves and cute knit hats, women bringing out their fancy boots. You can still do that, but you won't be able to break out the big old winter coats that you might already have in your wardrobe. Have to get rid of those here in Florida, as you won't really need those big coats here, but maybe a lighter coat, maybe some gloves if your hands get cold easy. But yeah, we don't get to experience the 4 seasons here, the beautiful like change in the fall leaves. People love to see the scenery there too. But just be prepared to really just go from warm to warmer to pretty much settled a little chilly weather, we would say. For us Floridians, chilly would more so be maybe 50 and below, and we'll still be out in our shorts and flip-flops, maybe have a light coat on. All right, and another thing that some people do not like to tolerate after moving to Florida are the hurricanes. Some people feel like they wish they never moved here because they don't like to experience the hurricanes, especially if maybe they have already experienced a bad one. And a lot of people are concerned of hurricane season, how bad it may be. I don't feel like personally it's as scary as a lot of people may think. As long as you're prepared for the hurricanes, you know what you need for your home to protect it from wind damage, flooding. If you plan on bunkering down and riding out the storm, just make sure that you have all the supplies that you need in advance. And that's a great thing about the hurricanes. And the Weather Channel would be able to project the direction the storm is going, so you can have your time to prepare. Unlike the tornadoes, you don't really have much time to prepare. You just really have to grab your family and take cover. At least hurricanes, you do have time to prepare your home, prepare your go bags if you do plan on evacuating, especially if there's a mandatory evacuation in place. Just make sure you have everything you need for the road, have a place to go, make a nice family trip out of it. But again, if you do decide to ride out the storm, just make sure you have the necessary supplies in advance. We do have a lot of stores that would run out. People they end up going into a panic at the last minute, trying to get everything they need when the shelves are already empty because everyone else had already bought in advance or maybe right before you made it to the store. So just make sure you have like canned goods, your candles, extra batteries, flashlights. You can even, if you have your grill, just get some food that you can probably just throw out on the grill, something easy to cook, get non-perishable foods, of course, and just we'll be able to give you a full checklist. You can reach out to us for that. We do have a hurricane prep list for you, things that you would need if you were evacuating and things that you would need if you're bunkering down. So we'd definitely be able to provide that information for you if you need it. But yes, as long as you're prepared for hurricanes, it's really not as bad. Just, again, know what to expect before the storm. Again, a lot of people don't like to deal with all that, and they feel like it's a mistake living here in Florida. Of course, we are most of the time in the projected path of a storm. So, I mean, that's what you have to expect living down here in Florida. It is a peninsula. So we're gonna catch some of the bad weather. All right, well, that's all I have for you today. If you have any questions or want to know more, feel free to leave us a comment below. And don't forget to like and share this video with anyone you know that may be looking to relocate to Florida, may need to consider a couple things before they do, so they don't feel like they're making a mistake moving to Florida. I'm Stephanie Bueno with the Whittemore Group at eXp Realty, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.